Join the conversation. It's Ask the Expert with Brenda Hollingsworth from OJ Hollingsworth. Live phone calls on the air if you like. 613-789-6559, extension 2803, Ottawa.morning at ctv.ca, and on Facebook too, CTV Ottawa Morning Live. Brenda, we talked about it from the homeowner perspective about keeping a property safe during bad weather. Let's talk about from a visitor perspective. I walk onto a property and it's not well taken care of. There's glare ice that I can't see or whatever reason. I fall and I have a significant injury. Is that the first thing I need to think about?
Yeah. So, sometimes you're going to fall in this city and you're going to bump your tailbone or your elbow and it's going to hurt, but you probably don't have a lawsuit.
Okay.
Okay. You do need to have sort of a basic level of injury that makes it worth the effort.
It's something that takes away from your life significantly.
That's right. In our office, typically for slip and fall accidents, we're looking for a fracture or an actual diagnosed concussion. There are other cases we'll consider, but typically that's what the level of severity that we're looking for.
So if I actually think a torn ACL that stops me from being able to perform a duty at work or something like that would be
that's right. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but something where you're on crutches, you're off the job, not a bruise.
Okay.
For us, right? Right, but you're right, absolutely. ACL serious.
Those kinds of things. So that's how you have to measure it. How much is this taken away from my life? If it's significant,
right?
Then you make that phone call.
That's right. So, a couple of things before you get to calling us.
Okay.
Your shoes are going to be a big ticket item in this lawsuit.
Oh,
so, if what you have on your feet matters for a lawsuit. So, not
the dress shoes, which are slick bottom, right?
These
are slick bottoms, so they're not that clean. I'm walking up toward the house, and I slip.
Right.
I mean, this will slip on anything.
That's right.
Water, anything.
You are going to get less money than the guy wearing Sorels.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
But regardless, you need to keep the shoes. So if you are in an accident where you're at the hospital and they cut your boot off, which happens fairly often, make sure you keep it, right?
Okay.
Ask for it.
Right.
And in the heat of the moment, you might not remember. So file this away in your head right now.
Yeah.
Get those boots. Keep those boots.
Okay. Because a broken ankle, for instance, they would cut you out of it.
That's right. And let's say, they don't cut them off, but you say, I am not wearing those ever again. Don't throw them out because you're mad at them. Okay, keep them.
We do get mad at
things. Or don't keep wearing them. Oh, it wasn't the boots' fault.
Okay.
Don't keep wearing them. If you're going to have a lawsuit, preserve those boots in the condition that they were in at the time of the accident.
If someone falls and requires medical attention, and they make that phone call to an ambulance and they show up, is there a police situation in that typically or not?
Generally, the police don't show up to a slip and fall.
Okay.
So the ambulance will come or not, right? Sometimes friends or neighbors will take you to the hospital.
Okay.
Make sure you get the name of any witnesses if you can.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really important with slip and falls is that you give notice to the person about the accident, to the owner of the property, quickly. This is one of those areas where there's a really short timeline. And if it's on a municipal sidewalk, it's 10 days.
Okay.
So that's extremely, extremely short.
And it might not sound short to anybody else. I can get anything together in 10 days. But after you slip and fallen, you're injured, you're trying to take care of yourself and all of the other things that you have to put aside. That is very short, 10 days.
Yeah, that's right. So you need to write a letter to the city, and you needed to say what happened, where it happened, give them circumstances. The reason for the letter is so that they have a chance to investigate.
Okay.
And so if too much time elapses, then, the weather changes. I mean, the weather can change the next day. But as long as you give it to them within 10 days, they've got fair opportunity to investigate.
And it's a nice thing to do, too, for the next person, right?
Yes.
I think just paying it forward that way. Would you recommend doing that even if it doesn't result in a lawsuit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you call 311 and report dangerous zones in the city, you're doing everybody a favor.
Okay.
And if the next person falls and does injure themselves, that call's on record too.
Okay.
So you can also help somebody else. So please do report that.
I also think that sometimes when something first happens, and I've talked about this about other situations, you don't know fully what that's cost you. And so putting in that report, even if you're never going to use it, is always a good idea.
Right. A lot of people have small wrist fractures and they think they're going to be fine. Still give the notice.
Okay, there you go. Listen, we've got lots of time here with Brenda Hollingsworth, Ottawa.morning at ctv.ca or Facebook, CTV Ottawa Morning Live. If you slipped and fallen in bad weather, it's coming tomorrow night into Wednesday. The roads are a concern as well. If you'd like to get a hold of Brenda, askbrenda.ca or 613-2234-LOVE. We're back in a moment.